then again, Mr. Awoyele, if we're trying to see how much vocational training we can build, like Mr. Rene pointed out, focusing wholly on organized private sector, we know that we have a lot of organizations, privately owned, that that possibly do not belong to most of these groups that you've actually mentioned, and they do have need for youths, for young people that have the skills, to add to their companies. And so if such a situation comes up and I as a private company owner decide that I need such skills, then it becomes a challenge for me.
Yeah, that's a very good question. Actually, the approach of and concept of this project is primarily based on the private sector. Private sector, individual is also a part of the private sector, but the organization of such private sector in a cluster is very, very important to us, because we believe that with a group, the resources can be binded together and be able to approach a particular issue. And be that as it may, we believe that is the way we can really get that project to get to the grassroots. And what do I mean by this? The organized private sector in Nigeria, especially in commerce and industry, is way out in Nigeria. Coming back to your question on agriculture, the agricultural sector, my background is agriculture, although I'm an engineer, but at the same time, the agricultural sector, with what the government is doing presently, the new minister is doing a good job, but we are still coming there. We believe when the industrial sector is settled, is properly settled, then whatever we build up from that can be used in the agricultural sector, which is really evolving. That is the concept of the project. We are still coming there. So we are taking it step for step, trying to build structure with the organized private sector, and thereafter we'll move to the next level.
Okay, so in the event, or before the reintroduction of these vocational schools, what are you doing in terms of seeing that curriculums of the normal schools that we have kind of imbibe most of this vocational skills and vocational training, to ensure that when they do finish, probably at the secondary school level, because that's the age limit for the 15 years and maybe 15 to 20 years old, they are ready to come from secondary school to a work environment with a little bit of knowledge that is further worked on.
Thank you. The curriculum you just mentioned, I had initially wanted to mention it. For all those professions I told you about, those 4 professions, curriculum were developed. And during the development of this curriculum, we did not act alone. The stakeholders, they had their input, they stated their needs, because if you look at Nigeria presently, a lot of graduates are being shunked out. 138,000, you mentioned it. I did not even know that statistics.
About 150. Yeah,
every year. Imagine. But most of them are engineers, some of them are technicians, but they are not employable. Sorry. And if you try to employ them to man machines, you are risking their life. And if you want to go beyond, say, okay, I will still employ them, you want to spoil the multi-million naira machine in the industry. So what do? We have to upskill these gentlemen. And from those age, you are talking about that people that are being chunked out, they are not useful to the industry. Not yet. But after undergoing this short 1-year upskilling process, whereby curriculum have been developed in conjunction with the private sector, that was never done in the past. If they do it, it's only passive. But this is our needs. We look at the German curriculum, we look at the existing Nigerian curriculum, they sat down, then we came out with something, a super hybrid curriculum to take care of those professions. And other professions are coming, like in agriculture, we are looking at it. Having discussed with our 5 partners, they said, these are our needs. We need machinists. We need industrial electronic experts. We needed facility managers, which they don't have. So we said, okay, if that's what you need, we need people also in commerce, project managers, we need them. Okay, let's attend to that first. Then we go to the next level, taking care of agriculture. even in the coming phase.
Mr. Rene, as we wrap up this aspect of the show and the show for today in general, what are your thoughts? What's your outlook in the short to medium term? This phase is supposed to run out in 2015, and we're looking as much as possible, like Mr. Awele actually pointed out, building up on the curriculum, the school curriculum, in terms of encouraging this youth to have, the basics of being, skilled workers and entrepreneurs, taught to them just before we come out. So in the short to medium term, what should we be looking forward to in terms of our partnership, that's with Nigeria's partnership with Germany?
Well, I would say that the first thing we are doing is increasing the employability of the Nigerian youth, whether unemployed or employed in those companies we are cooperating with. That's the primary task of the approach, and I think we have been quite advanced and we are very successful in that. So I would be happy if we can continue into that direction and enable more Nigerians that are committed as much as our trainees are already today to receive the necessary technical educational knowledge to be useful for the Nigerian labor market, but also useful for themselves, because I think that with the necessary technical know-how you get and the necessary education you receive, your whole life changes, and you can also transmit this to your social environments, particularly your family, your children, your friends and neighbors, and be a role model for a positive development of this country. And I think this is what we're all working on. And if we can contribute modestly into this development, I would be perfectly proud and satisfied.
Well, definitely we all will. But thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming on the program this morning. It's been an interesting conversation.
Thank you very much for inviting us.
Well, I've been speaking with the coordinator, German Dual Vocational Training Partnership with Nigeria, Mr. Stephen Kende Awoyele, and the head of delegation, German Industry and Commerce in Nigeria, Andre Rene, on vocational training as a panacea for youth unemployment in Nigeria. It's been an interesting conversation. Of course, the conversation continues online. Don't forget, you can send your comments or suggestions to any of our addresses, social media addresses showing on your screen, for us to continue this conversation. But that's the end of the conversation for today and the program. Thank you so much for being a part of it. I'm Harriet Agbenyi.